right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show this week. Midwest Mike's coming at you.
Midwest Mike's.
All right. I'm Gary.
This is Austin.
And we're back with another show. Last week, NFL draft happened. We had our mock drafts. Obviously, Cleveland taking Baker Mayfield, number one, kind of threw all that off.
Because I had Baker going to the Jets, I think at 3, and I was thinking that was a bad pick.
Yeah.
That's like a Jets pick. But instead, the Browns took him. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think it means that they liked him a lot more than they did any other player in the draft. Obviously, I think it's a mistake. I think Saquon Barkley was that guy. The Giants got him at 2, which is a great pick for the Giants. As a Cowboys fan, I absolutely hate that. I got to play that guy twice a year because I think he's going to be a stud for about 10 years.
I remember when I'm sitting there watching that, and I think the Giants pick. I think it came in fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Real fast. They knew right away if Cleveland doesn't take Saquon, we're taking him.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said that on the show last week that if Cleveland didn't take him one, the Giants
were
would
going to take him. Yeah, they took him fast because he is the best player in the draft, and it's not close.
Yeah,
I could see. I could see any of these quarterbacks. I can see these quarterbacks being okay or whatever. I don't know if any of them. Do you see any of them like rookie year being like a stud? Maybe Allen. Maybe I like Allen. See, I like Allen a lot. Who is your top? Rosen?
Yeah, Rosen was my top guy.
He actually has a good situation with Arizona, right? Because he gets to throw to Larry Fitzgerald. He gets to hand the ball off to David Johnson. Their defense isn't bad. Their division's tough, but yeah, I don't know, man. Baker Mayfield 1 for me is a miss, but he could prove everybody wrong, and maybe Cleveland knows something we don't. I mean, nobody can say he's not competitive.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like Cleveland's going to Cleveland. Then with the 4th pick, they take Denzel Ward, a corner, who, in a lot of scouts' opinions, was not even the best defensive player in the draft. So, I mean, if you look at it from a scout's perspective, most NFL scouts and the research that I did leading up to the draft, Cleveland could have got the best offensive and defensive player in the draft.
Yeah.
And they did not get either, in my opinion.
Right, because they could have got Bradley Chubb.
They could have got Chubb.
And that's a lot of people have Chubb as better than Ward, right? Mm-hmm. I did.
Pass rusher. So, I mean, I guess they were thinking they have more of a need at corner than they do somebody coming off the edge, but Twitter was blowing up. Cleveland's going to Cleveland and, screw it up. 2 picks in the top 5. I mean, you got to give them a couple years. I really think you can't fully grade this draft for a couple years. We've talked about that before, not on the show, but, for about 3 or 4 years to see where these players are at that time.
Most experts have their draft grade at like a C or like a B minus.
Yeah, something like that.
It's like a C.
Yeah.
You tank so if you're gonna tank, you're gonna lose. You're gonna cut. They cut Hayden last year. You're losing, right? You lose all your games. The picks you have when you tank, that is exactly the picks you want. You want if you have the 1 and the 4.
Yeah,
tanking should have worked for you, and I don't think they came out ahead. I mean, maybe not. I don't know about that.
They didn't get 2 terrible players.
Well,
that's not what we're saying.
I'm saying they could have done better. Like you tank for this. And I feel like they missed it. Yeah,
I feel like that they could have gotten a better player at each of those spots than they did. But, hey, it is Cleveland. But, hey, so that's kind of the first few picks in the draft there. We'll come back to the NFL draft here in a minute. But let's talk a little bit of NBA playoffs. We're now in the 2nd round. Last time we talked NBA, the first round had kind of just gotten started. We had got through kind of the first game of the first round. And so now we're into the 2nd round. We're in the conference semifinals. You have Cavs, Raptors tomorrow night. Who do you like in that series? It's the 1 and the 4 seed.
So I'll take the Cavs.
I mean, you're a big LeBron guy.
Yeah, so I'm biased for sure. I'll take the Cavs. I take him because the last time Cleveland, or one of the last few games of the season, Cleveland was playing Toronto. I think it was in Toronto. I can't remember. Anyways, they get down by double digits. They came back and won, and it looked like Toronto. I don't know. I don't know if Toronto has a ton of heart, but I will say this: if Toronto beat them, I wouldn't be surprised. So it's not like this is some kind of like, oh my God, if Toronto beats them, like I can't believe it. Because dude, like in the Pacers series, if LeBron did not score 40, they were losing. Mm-hmm. And, like, not just losing, like, blown out.
And I don't think LeBron can do that again, and that's why I'm going with the Raptors. Not necessarily that I think the Raptors are more – I think the Raptors are a more talented team, because I think if that first-round series truly showed you anything, it's that LeBron has no help. I mean, Kevin Love was pretty much non-existent the whole series.
I don't know what his high was. I think his highest game might have been 19 points.
Yeah,
maybe.
You've got to have somebody else getting 20 points a night.
So he got a little
consistently.
Bit of help. Yeah, he got a little bit of help yesterday. They decided to start Tristan, and he ended up with a double-double. I think he was like, I don't know how many points he had. He had 12 boards, double-digit points. And this is a guy, Tristan Thompson, that there's a few games in this series he doesn't even play at all.
Yeah.
So the Cleveland, I don't know if their coach has no idea what he's doing with the lineup or whatever, but they just kind of start whoever. Yeah, and LeBron's up playing like 40 minutes and trying to get 40.
I honestly, I just don't think LeBron can carry them again 4 out of the next 7 games. You know, maybe I'll be proved wrong again with LeBron, but I think they get beaten that second round there. A series that actually started yesterday over in the West is the Rockets-Jazz. The Rockets took a 1-0 lead.
I'll take Rockets all day on that.
Yeah, same here. I just think the Rockets are playing really well right now. I think anybody that goes up against the Rockets are going to have a real tough time. I mean, Harden and those guys are just freaking tearing it up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. A lot of people didn't know how well Paul and Harden would mesh. But and technically, there's only 2 superstars in that team. A lot of teams have 3. Mm-hmm. If you're the Warriors, you have 4, plus an Olympic gold medalist coming off your bench. So, like, yeah, this team meshes really well. Their coach is exactly what they need with D'Antoni, who's like a fast-paced guy, and Harden's a fast-paced player. Yeah. Harden's defense actually has gotten better this year. I don't know where his metrics at exactly, but I know he is better. But anyways, I think with the Jazz, they got to play the Thunder, who the Thunder totally underachieve. And a lot of people like to say Westbrook doesn't have any help. But dang, I want to say that he scored 44, but I want to say he shot the ball like 48 times.
Yeah.
And Melo had 5 points, and I think Paul had like Paul George had like 7. So that whole team was chemistry, underperforming.
Yeah. OKC, yeah.
Yeah, I like Westbrook, but dang, he shot, like I said, I think he shot about 48 times, man. Like, that's – I don't even know Jordan didn't even take that many shots.
Yeah. So, back over to the East, a game that I watched tonight, the 76ers and the Celtics. The Celtics won, so they're up 1-0 in that series. I like the Celtics there to finish out the 76ers. I don't think they'll sweep them, but I do think the Celtics win that series.
I'm going to roll with the Sixers, even though they did lose by 16 tonight. I'm going to go with the Sixers. I still think they're just – I don't know. I honestly couldn't even tell you how Boston scored. I didn't watch the game. You did. Yeah. I couldn't even tell you how they scored 117, especially with Jaylen Brown not playing, who was their second highest scorer. Like,
seemed like they shared the ball a lot.
Dude, I'm looking at it right now. It goes Tatum, Terry Rozier, and Al Horford.
Rozier had a hell of a game.
28, 29, 26. Everybody's like those 3 guys. Their stat lines are pretty much like all the same. And I think Brad Stevens is at this. I mean, I think for this year is the best coach in the NBA this year. I'm not saying I think the best coach is still Pop. But I think Stevens is – this year he's done a really good job, especially with losing Kyrie, especially losing Gordon Hayward. Like –
I mean, I remember at one point, I texted you during that first-round series with Boston, and I said, why is Boston so bad? Because they were getting beat by, like, 25.
And that series went to a Game 7.
Yeah.
This is basically the Boston Celtics team without Kyrie and without Gordon are a bunch of guys. There's a bunch of role players, and then there's a bunch of guys that are like would probably either be maybe the second option on like a bad team or like a decent team, but they're definitely third options on like really good teams. And the thing is this, that makes me think like if Brad Stevens had, like say Brad Stevens was coaching Cleveland, he'd have LeBron, he'd have all those little role player guys, they'd be pretty good. Brad Stevens he was doing this last year with the Celtics. Celtics didn't have a Kyrie. They had Isaiah Thomas, who this year was terrible. And then he got hurt or whatever. So, I mean, I don't know. But I do like, as much as I talk up the Celtics, I like the Sixers. I think they're more talented. And I really like Vegas a lot. And I read this today. Vegas has, at this point, if you want to bet on who's going to go to the playoff or to the finals from the East, the Sixers are the favorite. So I'll stick with the Sixers.
Well, there you go. That's a good stat.
Yeah, and Embiid had a good game tonight.
Vegas is definitely not built on losers.
They're pretty good at what they do.
Yeah.
So I'll stick with Philly.
And back to the West, the other semifinal in the West tips off tomorrow night with the Pelicans and the Warriors.
So they already got a game under their belt.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, that series is I think it's 1-0. It's 1-0. Warriors already beat the
1-0 Warriors. Okay,
yeah.
My fault. Looked at that wrong then.
No, you're good. The Warriors beat them on Saturday. The Warriors beat them 123-101. I got the Warriors.
Yeah, I got the Warriors. Steph Curry's coming back, so hey, they're not going to get beat here.
Yeah, he didn't play this last game. But
I mean, a lot of people did not expect the Pelicans to beat the Trailblazers in the first round, and they did. So here they are. They've kind of overperformed, I think, but I think the Warriors are just too much for them.
There's no way. I'll say this: the way the Pelicans can beat the Warriors is if Anthony Davis just goes crazy like he did during the Blazers series, like scoring 30, scoring 40. So it's almost like I'm not like LeBron, but kind of like if Davis isn't on, they really don't have that second option guy. Maybe like J. Holiday, maybe. But Rondo's a true point guard, and I like Rajon Rondo, but he's not a scorer. But he'll get you assists.
He'll distribute the ball.
Wow. Yeah, he'll definitely distribute the ball. He had 11 assists the other day. So, but I'll take the Warriors.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. All right. So that's the 4 NBA games that are remaining here in the semifinals of each conference. So we'll see how those pan out over the next week or so, depending on how many games they go each. But so we'll see how that goes.
Who do you got in the finals right now?
Who I got in the finals? I'm probably going to go Raptors, and the West is so tough to pick.
So everybody wants to see Rockets play the Warriors in the Western Finals.
Yeah,
and that actually might be a better series than what you're going to get in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I think the Warriors will beat the Rockets in the 7-game series. They'll be healthy. Steph Curry will have some games under his belt coming back off the injury. So, I got to pick the Warriors there. So I guess I'm going to go Warriors-Raptors in the finals. How about you?
You know what? I'm looking up something right now. I'm looking up the Warriors and Rockets throughout the season. Looks like they only played twice. I don't know if that's right. Warriors beat them. So last time they played, the Rockets won. Another time before that, the Warriors beat them, and that's like Rockets beat them by 8, and the other time the Warriors beat them by 10. It's gonna be a really good series.
I definitely think that would be a 7-game series.
Yeah, and I think it'll be a 7-game series unless James Harden falls apart like he did last year in the playoffs. Which I don't see it. I think with the Chris Paul,
he's really good right now.
Especially with Chris Paul being able to distribute the ball. Chris Paul is probably the best point. He's probably the best point guard in the NBA in the last maybe like if you take a group like a group the years together, 10 years or whatever. Chris Paul's probably your one.
Yeah, he's been pretty well.
He's probably the best point guard in the NBA. So anyway, my finals prediction, I'll go Sixers, and I'll go Sixers Warriors, and then I'll have the Warriors beat them because the Warriors are seasoned. Because the Warriors are seasoned, and the Warriors, they just got the experience. So
yeah, all right. So back.